It was a cool January in South Australia in the year 1899. 27 years afterwards, Mrs. Charlotte Jane Gollop remembered the night of the 20th of January as wintry. It was the night her husband of almost 10 years, John James Gollop, ventured out despite being ill and vanished from the face of the earth. John and Charlotte married at Clare, South Australia in 1889. John had trained as an accountant and worked in that capacity for a butcher at Laura before opening his own business as a baker in the same town. Charlotte was the eldest daughter of a school teacher, born at Stanley Flat, just north of Clare. Although the marriage was seemingly happy, with 7 children arriving between 1890 and 1899, the mortality of the children was high. 4 of their 5 sons died at less than a year old. She recalled that John was a good husband and a kind father. On the day he vanished, although John was suffering from a bout of influenza, when one of the boys he employed at his bakery came by and informed him that one of his horses had gotten loose from the stable, he told his wife that he had to go out and get him. She begged him not to go, as it was raining heavily, and the doctor had instructed him to stay warm and dry. Nevertheless, John Gollop ventured out into the stormy night and soon secured the horse. Some time later that evening he announced that he had to go out again, to take some money belonging to the local cricket club to a tobacconist named Hugh MacDonald, so that it would be ready for a meeting of the club that night. He took the money to the tobacconist, and while there purchased some tobacco for himself. It was evident to MacDonald that Gollop was quite ill, running a high fever. He went to leave, forgetting the tobacco he had bought. MacDonald had to call him back and give him the tobacco, telling him to get to bed as quickly as he could. After he left the shop, John Gollop was never seen nor heard from again. Police were alerted to his sudden, unexplained disappearance, but despite exhaustive inquiries, they were never able to trace him. 2 years after her husband disappeared, Charlotte moved to Western Australia, where she lived until 1926. Her remaining son, John Henry Ralph, died soon after the move, at the age of 2. Upon returning to South Australia, Charlotte heard rumours, but nothing was found to substantiate them. It was whispered that on the night he vanished, John Gollop was murdered, and his body incinerated to hide the crime. The killer had supposedly also left the state for Western Australia, confessing to the deed before their own death in Perth. Charlotte lived with her 2 unwed daughters at Mitcham, a suburb of Adelaide, passing away on the 4th of December 1940. Her eldest daughter Merle followed her in death in 1951, and when second daughter Esther Gollop died on the 9th of September 1977, the family line ceased.